You know that blank space on your resume? For a lot of us, it can feel like this huge, glaring red flag that we have to awkwardly explain away. But what if it's not a weakness at all? What if it's actually your secret weapon? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive into exactly how you can reframe that career gap and turn it into one of your biggest professional strengths.
Let's just be honest for a second. That gap on your resume can feel like it's literally screaming for attention, right? And it can trigger this huge wave of anxiety. You start wondering, how am I supposed to explain this? But here's the thing, you don't have to explain it, you have to frame it. And trust me, there is a world of difference between those two things.
So here's our game plan. First up, we're going to get inside the hiring manager's head to see what they're really thinking. Then we'll get into some super actionable strategies. We're talking formatting tricks, reframing your time off, turning that break into a real strength, and then how to use AI tools to make sure your story actually gets seen.
Okay, so first things first. Before we can even begin to solve the problem, we need to understand it from the other side of the table. Why does that little gap in your work history make a hiring manager pause? Figuring out their concern is absolutely the first step to crushing it. Here's the one thing you have to understand. A hiring manager's main job is to reduce risk for the company. That's it. And to them, an unexplained gap is just a big question mark, and question marks equal risk. Their mind immediately starts racing with questions. Are this person's skills still sharp? Did they lose their motivation? Our job is to get way ahead of those questions and answer them before they're even fully formed.
All right, let's jump into our first practical tactic, playing with your resume format. This is all about controlling the story from the very first glance. We want to make sure their eyes land exactly where we want them to, on your amazing skills and your incredible experience, not the time in between.
Okay, you're gonna love this tip because it is so simple, but it is so powerful. Just look at the difference here. By listing only the years you worked somewhere and leaving out the months, you instantly blur the edges of any employment gap. A 10-month gap can suddenly look pretty insignificant. It's a tiny formatting change, I know, but it has this massive psychological impact, drawing their attention to how long you were in the role, not the space between roles.
Next up, we're diving into the absolute heart of the strategy. Changing the story you tell. Now, this isn't about making things up. It's about accurately and confidently talking about the valuable things you did when you weren't in a typical 9-to-5. It's time to rewrite unemployed into something way more compelling.
So what do we actually mean when we say professional development? You got to think bigger than just a stuffy college course. We're talking about any activity that helped you sharpen your professional skills. That means online classes, workshops, industry certifications, even those freelance projects you did on the side. This bigger, broader definition is the key to unlocking your story.
And this is what it looks like in the real world. That online coding class you took? Professional development. That industry webinar you sat in on? Yep, that counts too. Even helping a friend get their startup's website off the ground, that's real, valuable experience. The trick here is to stop thinking of these as just things I did and start seeing them for what they are. Concrete proof that you're committed to your career and to getting better.
Okay, so you've successfully reframed your time off as professional development. That's a huge step. But now, we're going to take it even further. It's time to truly own that period. This is all about shifting the narrative from something that just happened to you to a deliberate choice you made for your own growth.
Think of it as a three-part story. First, you showcase your independence. Talk about any freelance or consulting work you did, because that proves you're a self-starter. Second, you demonstrate your growth. This is where you highlight all those courses and certifications you earned to stay ahead of the curve. And third, you display your character. Talk about volunteer work that shows off valuable soft skills like leadership, empathy, and teamwork.
Okay, so your story is polished, your strategy is locked in. Now, for the final piece of the puzzle, using modern tech to make absolutely sure your beautifully framed resume actually gets seen by a real human being. So here's a frustrating little secret of the job market. Before a hiring manager ever sees your resume, it's almost certainly getting scanned by a robot. It's called an applicant tracking system, or ATS, and these systems are just looking for keywords and specific formats. This is where AI assistants, like the tool from gethired.work, become a total game changer. They are literally built to help you get past these digital gatekeepers.
And this is exactly why this is so critical. As you can see here, these tools are amazing at making sure your resume format is ATS friendly. They also help you pack it with all the right keywords for the job you want. And the end result? You seriously increase the odds that your resume sails past the robot and lands right in front of a real person, which is exactly what you need to catch a recruiter's eye.
So let's just tie this all together. This quote really nails the whole mindset shift we've been talking about. Your career break is not a flaw in your professional history. Not at all. It's a part of your unique story. And when you frame it as this deliberate, productive period of growth, you completely transform it from a perceived weakness into a really compelling strength.
And please, remember this. You are not alone. So many people have gaps in their careers, for family, for health, for travel, because of a layoff. It's just a normal part of a modern career path. The anxiety you might feel is real, for sure, but the stigma around it is definitely fading, especially when you know how to tell your story the right way.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question. After everything we've talked about, I want you to look at your own resume again. That gap, it's not a liability. Think of it as an unwritten chapter. The only question left is, what powerful story are you going to make it tell?